wants out of his contract.
How low will we go? Some record low temperatures possible tonight, but a quick rebound when we may hit 50 again.
Plus a WBZ exclusive. A convicted cop killer trying to get parole finally admits he is the one who pulled the trigger.
And a birth control breakthrough. How this device could protect women from both pregnancy and sexually transmitted disease.
Live from our studios in Boston, WBZ News at 5 starts right now.
Breaking Patriots news. The leader of the Pats defense wants to leave New England. Tonight, there are reports that Vince Wilfork has asked the Patriots to let him out of his contract. And this one all comes down to money. Good evening, everybody. I'm Paula Adams.
I'm Jack Williams in for Jonathan tonight. Wilfork asked to be released just hours after the team agreed to a deal with another defensive superstar. Of course, WBZ is your official Patriots station. Steve Burton joins us now with all the details.
Hi, Jack and Paula. Thank you very much. Yes, that other superstar player is cornerback Darrelle Revis, who reportedly has agreed to a one-year, $12 million deal. Meanwhile, the NFL Network's Ian Rappaport is reporting that Vince Wilfork has asked for his release. He's in the last year of a 5-year, $40 million contract, and the Pats want him to restructure.
You lose Vince
Wilfork has been asked to take a pay cut, and he doesn't like it. The beginning of the end for Wilfork as a Patriot started back on September 28th in Atlanta, when he tore his left Achilles. The big had to be carted off the field. His season over.
I remember going into the locker room at the end of the game and going over to him, giving him a hug and a kiss.
It was all about my team and the organization. Like, man, I really let them down.
Even though Wilfork couldn't contribute on the field, he was a huge help on the sidelines, acting like an extra defensive coach.
So now you know what he's going to do. It's not what they want to hear, it's what they need to hear, you know.
1, 2, 3, down there.
But as valuable as Wilfork has been to the Patriots, pro football is still a business. He was set to count $11.6 million against the cap this season. And here in New England, at age 32, Vince could be through. As I mentioned, this news comes on the heels of the Patriots agreeing on a one-year, $12 million deal with Darrelle Revis last night. NFL.com is also reporting the contract includes a team option for a second year worth $20 million. The 28-year-old is considered by many to be the best quarterback in football. Revis spent last season in Tampa Bay after 6 seasons with the Jets. So one superstar wants to come to Foxborough, and reports are another superstar may want to leave. Jack and Paula, back to you.
More to come. Steve Burton, thank you so much. And even though Wilfork was forced to sit out most of the season with that torn Achilles, Pats fans were hopeful he'd return to the field this year. Jim Smith is live at Gillette Stadium now tonight with reaction from fans. Jim?
Hi, Paula. You know, there's no other way to describe it. A bit of shock tonight here at Gillette Stadium. As we all know, the big fella, Vince Wilfork, has long been a big favorite among Patriot fans, and now, at least it looks like he may be on his way out. And take a look at this. Late this afternoon, we tried to get some reaction from Vince himself. We stopped by his house, which is only a few towns away. We did our due diligence. We knocked, but there was no answer, and it appeared that nobody was home at the Wilfork residence. Meanwhile, at the Patriots Pro Shop here at the stadium, it's like he hasn't gone anywhere. The big number 75 jersey still on the racks and still available. Patriot Nation, meanwhile, trying to digest this latest news.
I think he's the center of the defense. I think it's going to take a big hole in the defense. He was gone for most of the season this past year. They made up, but you sure knew he was gone.
So this would not be good?
No, it wouldn't be good. Plus, he's the mentor to the younger players.
It's one of those things where he's at the end of his stint here, and if it makes most sense for him, then so be it, you know, if he needs to get out of here. But we'll miss him. We'll miss him. He's one of my favorite Patriots players of all time, but you know, it is what it is, I guess.
Big guy to lose. You know, he's a leader in the locker room there. At the same time, though, in today's NFL, it's all about the passing defense, and you know, got Revis in there, so you're gonna have a good corner now. And
It's really interesting, kind of a mixture of reactions. Certainly, if Vince Wilfork does move on, Patriot fans will be sorry to see that. But at the same time, they've almost been preconditioned to trust in Bill Belichick figuring out that the coach will find an alternative plan if that does happen. We'll see how this all unfolds. Live at the stadium, Jim Smith, WBZ News. Paula, back to you.
Jim, we appreciate it. Thanks very much. Well, a fresh coating of snow on the ground, and now frigid temperatures. Winter is really hanging on here in Boston. Just a day of freeze-out temperatures in the mid-50s in some towns. The wind chill's near 0.
We've been hit with everything but the kitchen sink, and Chief Meteorologist Eric Fisher is here with a first look at your AccuWeather forecast, Eric.
Things have been rather busy here the last 24 hours. Lots of change. In fact, compared to this time last night when we were talking, 31 degrees colder in Taunton, 21 degrees colder in Boston. Feels worse here in southeastern Mass. It's where you were the warmest yesterday, and now everyone is into the cold. Current temperatures, 20 in Plymouth. Worcester's at 17, 21 to the west in Springfield. Way below average for this time of the year. Should be close to 50 degrees. And all across the northeast, we see all of that cold spilling out. Our storm moving farther off to the north and east. The clouds will slowly break up as we head into the overnight. It will challenge a couple record lows. Now, the record in Boston is 12. It was set 118 years ago. We're forecasting 13 in Boston. Worcester's record is 4. We're forecasting 6. We'll be in the ballpark. We'll see how things turn out before tomorrow morning. So we've got the near record cold for tonight, but near 40 tomorrow, near 50 on Saturday, so the cold won't stick around for too long. We are going to watch it early next week. Doesn't look like a major storm, but maybe some more snow in the forecast. We'll outline all these changes coming up in just a little bit. Paula?
We'll see you then. Eric, thank you. Well, snow buried parts of upstate New York. There were near blizzard conditions in Syracuse. A foot of snow fell at the airport. And city officials even activated a 20-year-old plan to ease traffic on the roads during the rough weather. In Brook Park, Ohio, car after car blew through red lights without even knowing it. Several cities switched traffic lights to LED lights to save money and energy. But the lights are so cool, they don't melt the snow when it gets clogged on the lights. And that's making it impossible for drivers to see if a light is green, yellow, or red. Police say there were several close calls.
Meanwhile, in Georgia, strong winds were the problem. 40-mile-per-hour gusts and a tree crashing through the bedroom of this apartment in Roswell. Fortunately, nobody hurt there. The wind knocked out power to more than 1,000 people. You can save a WBZ on our website. For the most complete weather information online, you'll find a list of the snow totals, our weather blog, our long-range forecast. It's all at cbsboston.com.
New recommendations tonight for ways to improve the state's child welfare system.
You know, the department has been under fire since social workers lost track of 5-year-old Jeremiah Oliver last year. John Keller joins us now. And John, you know, it's surprising some of these recommendations aren't already in place.
Yeah, to say the least, Jack. Outside of tightening background checks on DCF social workers and taking pictures of kids to help police if they run away, there's little in here beyond the familiar cry for help for an overburdened system of protecting at-risk kids that lacks proper funding, tools, and oversight. Sir, what's in this report that might have saved Jeremiah Oliver?
If we had the staffing in place, if we had the technology in place, would we have a safer system? And I think that is absolutely the case.
Human Services Secretary John Polanowitz summarizing an interim report on DCF that contains almost nothing agency critics haven't been complaining about for years. It calls for more spending to lighten the social worker caseload and for arming them with 21st century technology.
This was not a workload issue.
And while it contradicts DCF Commissioner Olga Roche's recent claim that caseloads had nothing to do with the Oliver fiasco, her boss today insisted she'll stay on to oversee reform. The Patrick administration has pointed to the release of this report as the moment when questions would be answered and the path forward would become clear. But what became crystal clear today was that some on Beacon Hill are still not satisfied.
I think there's still a ways to go.
House Speaker Robert DeLeo was notably unenthusiastic about the report.
DCF needs a total overhaul. They really do.
And the man he's put in charge of probing the mess seems intent on much more sweeping changes.
Whether or not the supervisors and the social workers who dealt with the Jeremiah Oliver family had one case or 1,000 cases, it probably wouldn't have made a difference because they weren't doing their job, the supervisors weren't doing their job, and there wasn't a system of accountability in place to catch when someone wasn't doing their job.
That was House Post Audit and Oversight Committee Chairman David Linsky speaking there. Now, veterans of past DCF reform efforts see a familiar pattern here. A tragic failure or string of them provokes public outrage, and for a while, Beacon Hill throws attention and resources at the problem. Then, the public and the press move on. The budget axe falls, and the cycle repeats. The big question is, will it happen again? Jack, back to you.
Well, we hope and pray it doesn't, John, but it doesn't have a good track record over the decades. Thank you. Also today, House Speaker Robert DeLeo announced plans to hike the minimum wage. He wants to raise the rate from $8 to $10.50 an hour. Lisa Hughes has a look at the impact this bill would have on workers and on businesses, Lisa.
Well, Jack, Speaker DeLeo is quick to point out this is a balancing act. On the one hand, the bill should help workers, but not at the expense of creating jobs. And he took the stage today in front of the Greater Boston Chamber of Commerce to outline the plan that he's introduced. It would increase the minimum wage gradually from $8 to $9 this summer and then to $10.50 by 2016.
Controlling unemployment insurance costs and ensuring that our workers are fairly paid are important components of the kind of attractive environment where companies and workers want to be.
This is a big one to watch here and nationwide. In addition, DeLeo wants to change the way employment insurance works by averaging an employee's salary over 3 years instead of just a single year. And the Senate is also considering similar bills. Paul?
Lisa, thank you. The search area for the missing Malaysia Airlines jet and the mystery surrounding its disappearance is just growing tonight. The White House says, based on new information, the search may expand to the Indian Ocean. As Craig Boswell shows us, investigators are still trying to piece together how long the plane was flying after it lost contact.
The search for Malaysia Airlines Flight 370 expands again, westward. The USS Kidd, a Navy destroyer assisting off Malaysia's east coast, is now headed in that direction. CBS News has learned investigators now believe the Boeing 777 may have flown for an unknown period after it lost contact because its engines were still transmitting data. The details about its location or how far it went aren't known because the data wasn't downlinked, but it's possible the jet flew for hours towards the Indian Ocean. The search area now stretches from China to the Andaman Sea. Investigators are digging deeper into the radar signal the Malaysian military picked up, indicating the plane may have turned left.
They're beginning to understand at least where the aircraft did turn around.
Crews near the original flight path trying to find the objects in Chinese satellite photos turned up nothing.
We have contacted the Chinese embassy, who notified us this afternoon that images were released by mistake and did not show any debris from MH370.
At the Kuala Lumpur airport, where the flight departed early Saturday, Malaysia Airlines is maintaining a regular schedule.
For me, this is a one-off incident.
But for the loved ones of the 239 passengers and crew on board, it's been 6 days without any answers. Craig Boswell for CBS News, Washington.
For those families of the 239 people on board the missing plane, waiting for information is pure agony.
I know as time goes on, I mean, I'm not, I'm not deluded by the fact that as this goes on, there's less and less chance of finding anything. But because there's no finality to it, I can't give up.
Now, neither Boeing, which made the missing airliner, nor Rolls-Royce, which supplied the engines, has commented on that Wall Street Journal report.
Coming up, a WBZ exclusive, a man convicted of killing a Holliston police officer more than 30 years ago wants out of prison now. Why, he says he served his time and learned his lesson.
Mother Nature leaving some of New Hampshire's northern ski resorts with more than a foot of new snowfall.
And digging through the debris after a New York City building exploded. Why it's so difficult for recovery crews searching for victims.
Closed captioning is brought to you by the Harlem Globetrotters. Playing at TD Garden on Saturday, March 29th and Sunday, March 30th. Purchase tickets at the box office or online at Ticketmaster.com.
American-owned, family-operated. Since 1829. No bull. Just lager. From America's oldest brewery, Yingling.
Honey, your dorm was so cute. But, well, I gotta run. Oh, yeah. Dad and I miss you so much. It's quiet around here without you. Well, we've been catching up on some sleep, eating up all those leftovers, and just trying to relax a little. Love you too. Bye, honey. No, I didn't tell her. I didn't want her to know we're having this much fun in the Daniel Webster Inn without her.
Here in Philadelphia, you can access a Philly cheesesteak anytime, day or night. Just like you can access Geico anytime, day or night. There's only one way to celebrate this unique similarity. Witness the Cheesesteak Shuffle.
Cheesesteak, cheesesteak, it's the cheesesteak shuffle, huh? Every day, all day, cheesesteak, cheesesteak. Every night, all night, cheesesteak, cheesesteak. 9 a.m. cheesesteak. 2 p.m. cheesesteak. 3 a.m. cheesesteak. Anytime.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
It's the Toyota #1 for everyone national sales event. Toyota is #1 in what matters most to everyone, value. Now we're making you #1 with nationwide savings. Get a lowest ever #1 lease on a well-equipped Corolla Sport for only $118 a month with no cost maintenance included. Plus, recent and soon-to-be college grads can get an additional $750 rebate. #1 for everyone ends March 31st. Toyota, let's go places.
Marvin Windows and Doors mean more to the people that choose them because they do more for their homes than any other window. Only Marvin combines a century of industry-leading design innovation with unmatched quality, durability, and energy efficiency for exceptional value. Which Marvin will be your Marvin?
Visit the Marvin Design Gallery by NSWS for your next project. Our experienced staff will measure, deliver, and professionally install your new windows and doors for a simple, hassle-free experience. Contact Marvin Design Gallery by NSWS today.
In a crowd of light beers, how long does it take to find the Yingling Light Lager? About that long. 99 calories, 100% authentic lager. Yingling Light Lager. Rethink your light beer.
Recovery crews have pulled a 7th body from the rubble in New York City after that gas explosion destroyed 2 apartment buildings. Tonight, firefighters are looking for more victims. As Alexis Christophorous shows us, more than 24 hours after the blast, the debris is still smoldering.
More than 24 hours after a gas explosion knocked down 2 East Harlem buildings, firefighters were still spraying water on the smoldering ruins. Workers used heavy equipment to pick up huge piles of debris, including bricks, broken glass, and people's belongings. Firefighters used thermal imaging cameras to search for missing victims.
I can only imagine knowing that any moment you might find a body, how difficult that is.
New York Mayor Bill de Blasio thanked first responders and urged people who live and work in the area to limit their exposure to the air, which could still contain harmful particles. Residents say the smell of gas was persistent in the days leading up to the explosion, but the utility company Con Edison says it received only 2 reports of leaks at the buildings in the past 3 years. The last one, 10 months ago. Con Edison says the gas main that leads to the destroyed buildings is made of cast iron, more than 125 years old. But it passed a routine inspection just 2 weeks ago and was not on its list of pipes to be replaced. For now, dozens of displaced residents are staying at a Red Cross shelter.
They're obviously in shock, and many ran for their lives. They're just happy to be safe.
Police officials confirmed the devastating explosion was recorded on area surveillance cameras, but those images are not being released to the media. Alexis Christophorous, CBS News, New York.
Attorney General Martha Coakley is supporting a married gay couple who sued the Roman Catholic Diocese of Worcester and its realtor. Alan Morena's husband, Jim Fairbanks, said the church refused to sell them this property in Northbridge because they're gay. In a brief filed today, Coakley argued religious organizations can be subjected to the requirements of the state's anti-discrimination laws. The church claimed the sale never went through because the couple could not come up with the financing.
Well, let's talk about the weather. You know, our Ace Weather Department said better be prepared, and we got hit with everything.
Ace Weather Department, huh? Well, this one behaved pretty well, just as planned.
We can't be prepared when we've got these 35-degree temperature swings.
Oh, come on, it's March. March, New England, it's been all over the place. That will continue for the next few days, and our snowfall continues to climb, even though winter is technically over. Meteorological winter ends with the end of February. We saw an inch and a half in Boston today. Seasonal totals up to 57.1, which is almost exactly the same on this date last year. Both years above average snowfall. And you look around the area, pretty much everyone coming in that 1 to 3 inch range we were talking about last night. 2.2 in Norwell, Sudbury at 1.5 inches, Woburn at 1 inch of snow. As always, thank you for all the reports. The snow not causing big issues, but the cold temperatures certainly are. We've got our storm departing off toward the north and east. The snow still coming down in down East Maine. That will wrap up in the next couple hours. And the clouds will slowly break apart across the areas we head through this evening and into the overnight. The wind is going to stay gusty till about midnight, and then it begins to die down. Most of those gusts 20 to 35 miles per hour. We know it's cold outside, so we have wind chill. And these are numbers that look a little bit more like mid-January or February. Feels like 0 in Worcester, 1 below in North Adams, as well as in Concord. Downtown Boston, it feels like 10 degrees right now. So temperatures will be close to the record lows for the day by tomorrow morning, mainly single digits tonight. And again, the wind will start to become less of an issue as we head toward midnight and beyond. So tomorrow morning, it'll be a frigid start. Our wind's turning a little more southwesterly tomorrow, and as we start to bring in milder air, it will be breezy throughout much of the day. Those winds about 10 to 20 out of the southwest at midday, mix of sun and clouds, and temperatures near 30, and we're in the upper 30s to near 40 tomorrow afternoon. So for the evening, feeling a lot more comfortable compared to what we saw today. No major issues for our finally Friday. And around the area up north, not much melting snow. We'll get to about 40 in Boston, probably a couple of lower 40s showing up just south of the city tomorrow afternoon. As we head into tomorrow night, we'll be watching a front approach from the west. And this will bring a couple of rain showers early on Saturday morning till about maybe mid-morning on Saturday. Not a washout, just a couple of drops and partly sunny skies. And as this passes, the cold air will lag a little bit. So Saturday, by far, the most comfortable day of our forecast. Some colder air is going to build in on Sunday. No major storminess, but we are eyeing this batch down across the southeast. This is going to try to move toward us into Monday. It may graze us with a little bit of light snow. Now, if you're planning for a marathon long run on Saturday morning, a little bit more damp early on, later morning, it'll be drier, it'll be brighter, and it will be warmer. All told, no major complaints. We'll talk more about next week's potential coming up next half hour. Jack?
Okay, thank you so much, Eric. Next week's, I just heard that. Northern New England digging out tonight after the latest storm dumped more than 1 foot of snow in some areas. People at many of the ski resorts like Sugar Bush, well, they're just downright giddy. Meanwhile, in New Hampshire, this late blast of winter is just what those resorts needed.
That's right. As Michael Rosenfield shows us with a weekend warm-up on the way, it's the perfect time to hit the slopes. Morning.
Skiers and snowboarders heading up Loon Mountain, taking advantage of a nice gift from above, plenty of fresh snowfall.
I found that 18 inches everyone was talking about.
Many ski areas with over a foot of new snow. Bretton Woods 13 inches, Black Mountain 18 inches, and Cannon almost 24 inches. If you hit the slopes today, there were some tough conditions.
Cold, obviously, windy, but the slope, the snow is awesome. So get out here, enjoy.
Skiing is really good, but we're sticking to the gondola because it's pretty cold out here.
But despite the wind and frigid temperatures, Mother Nature stepped up her game.
Oh, yesterday was a lot of hard work. It was very thick, got a lot of rain, and we were soaking wet when we left.
Here at the summit of Loon Mountain, they got 13 inches of new snowfall since yesterday. 5 inches down at the base. It is all setting up for a great spring ski season ahead.
It's all like money in the bank for us. The more snow we can get in late March, the better the spring skiing will be.
Officials with Ski New Hampshire say this season is shaping up to be similar to last season, which was the 5th best on record.
It's been almost the perfect season. Consistent cold weather allowed us to make a ton of snow. It didn't melt, so we're in a really good shape.
So cold and so much snow, Loon hasn't had to make any of their own since January.
Definitely still riding powder in the spring, can't beat it. Had one of the best powder days of the year.
In Lincoln, New Hampshire, Michael Rosenfield, WBZ News.
Technology helping you to get where you want to go without looking at a map.
Still to come, the full clothing of the future.
And late night service on the MBTA. Who's paying for the multi-million-dollar experiment? We'll tell you. Now, here's Lisa Hughes. Look ahead what's coming up at 6. Lisa?
Well, Jack and Paula, Patriots fans could be taking a huge hit. The man who is known as the heart and soul of the team may be on the move. Vince Wilfork looking to get out. We're going to have much more on what's behind this developing story in Foxborough. And anti-Semitism in a playground game, a troubling incident at a local school, and what educators are doing about it.
I must begin my journey, which will cause me to miss the end of the game.
The X1 Entertainment operating system lets you watch live TV anywhere.
Can I watch it in Butterfly Valley?
Sure.
Can I watch it in Glimmering Lake?
Yep, here too.
What about the Dark Castle?
You call that defense?
Come
Watch live TV anywhere. The X1 Entertainment operating system, only from Xfinity.
It's made with wholesome ingredients. It tastes great, and it's competitively priced. That's H&K approved. Hearth & Kettle's 3-part approval process ensures that every meal coming out of our kitchens meets high standards for quality, taste, and value. Many of our ingredients are organic or all natural and free of hormones, antibiotics, and artificial preservatives. Wholesome ingredients, great taste, competitively priced. That's H&K approved. Hearth & Kettle in Hyannis, Yarmouth, Orleans, Plymouth, and Weymouth.
All this week, Reed's Ferry sheds are 10% off. Every Reed's Ferry shed, 10% off list price now through Saturday, April 13th. See 5 acres of sheds on display at Reed's Ferry. Get better quality than the box store and save 10% on the shed price. Go online to reedsferry.com. Order this week and save 10% during the spring sale.
Call 888-85-SHEDS.
10% off a Reed's Ferry shed. You got a good one.
Imagine finding the furniture you love at low sale prices. Now imagine upgrading to your choice of fabric at no extra charge. It's all possible at the Boston Interiors Custom Upholstery Sale. All our upholstery is made in the USA from quality materials you can trust to last. And this month only, it's all on sale. All chairs, sofas, sleepers, and sectionals. Plus, custom order any available fabric at the same price as stock. Come in soon and save. Sale ends March 31st.
A man pioneers a way to see the unseen. Radar. Forever providing safer journeys. The Mazda 6 uses radar in its available class-exclusive suite of 7 safety features for greater confidence behind the wheel. Introducing the Mazda 6. What do you drive? Now, get the 2014 Mazda 6 with Skyactiv technology for 0.9% APR for 60 months.
The MBTA is getting ready to start a $17 million experiment. The subway and some buses will soon run until 3 a.m.
But there are some big questions about the change. Will people use public transportation that late? And is it really worth all that money? Sarah Conchi takes a closer look.
We're going to try this on for a year. I'm confident it's going to be wildly successful.
Night owls on the weekend will now be able to hop on the T later at night. The MBTA will extend service till 3 a.m. Saturdays and Sundays.
People wanted to have late night service.
The new service will include the subway system and 15 bus routes. It's not just aimed at late night revelers, but it's also for bar, restaurant, and hotel workers.
We must be at work early in the morning, before the tea is open, and late at night after the tea shut down.
The additional service is a one-year trial, coming just as Boston Mayor Marty Walsh is pushing for a busier nightlife in the city.
Last week I announced a late-night task force to look at the opportunities of opening Boston a little later.
The MBTA provided late-night service 10 years ago, but it was cut because of low ridership. State officials believe this attempt will be different.
Bus service alone didn't work, and this is going to be both. And also today, you'll be able to check your devices, to iPhone, etc., to see how long you have to wait. And I think that was a challenge as well.
The pilot program is estimated to cost about $17 million. It is offset somewhat by corporate sponsors who have given about $1 million. The service starts on March 28th. In Cambridge, I'm Sarah Conchi, WBZ News.
Tonight, a huge show of support for a young boy battling cancer.
Still to come, one local police department came together to give this 4-year-old a day to remember.
Plus, a popular music festival, the scene of a horrific accident at the hands of an accused drunk driver.
A show of protest from police as a man who killed an officer begs to be freed from prison.
Today's weather on WBZ is brought to you by your New England Chevy dealers.
The all-new Chevy Silverado
from the family of the most dependable, longest-lasting, full-size pickups from the road. The truck that beats any Ford F-150 in fuel economy, and the 2014 North American Truck of the Year. And now, during Chevy Truck Month, the price you see is the price you pay for a 2014 Chevy Silverado. Now use special Truck Month prices to get a total value of over $7,500 on the Silverado All-Star Edition with best-in-class V8 fuel economy.
Visit your New England Chevy dealer.
On Marathon Monday, will you be running? Share your story with WBZ.
Go to cbsboston.com/mymarathon and tell us why you're in the race.
There's a new light shining on the future of healthcare, on forward-thinking care that's close to home. Welcome to Leahy Health, to nationally recognized doctors, award-winning hospitals, and clinical excellence in primary care in all corners of medicine. Just around the corner. Healthcare for who matters most. You. Leahy Health.
Tonight's primetime lineup is brought to you by the all-new 2014 Jeep Cherokee, a 2013 top IIHS safety pick.
In Italy, there is one mozzarella cheese brand preferred above all others.
Galvani.
A mozzarella so authentic, so deliciously meltable, few can resist.
Galvani.
Now Galvani is crafted here in the US. Enjoy the true taste of Italy at your table.
Galvani.
With Galvani, Italy's favorite cheese brand. Now America's #1 block mozzarella brand.
Lord & Taylor is having its biggest fashion sale of the season. Buy more, save more on select items. Must-have handbags at 25% off. 50% off men's fashions. And buy more, save more on women's sportswear. Get 30% off on the latest men's shoes. And buy more, save more on women's shoes too. At the biggest fashion sale of the season. Going on now. Get into the store or shop online at Lord & Taylor.
We're following breaking news. Patriots defensive lineman Vince Wilfork reportedly wants to leave the team. There are reports he's in the middle of a contract dispute. The Pats want to renegotiate. He says no. Wilfork sat out most of last season with a torn Achilles tendon.
Also tonight, a WBZ exclusive. A convicted cop killer's plea for freedom. Officers packed the hearing to make sure the man who killed their colleague stays behind bars. His name was Rolando Jimenez. He murdered Holliston police officer John Johnson. That was back in 1981.
Jimenez says he's a changed man, but as Christina Hager shows us, Johnson's children say that won't bring their father back.
A police killer snowy walked to face the parole board for the 4th time, begging for a shot at freedom.
My young Kennedy saw them for the loss.
In a room full of police officers still grieving after 33 years and his own weeping mother. At 54 years old, Rolando Jimenez says he's a different man than the one officer shielded as they paraded him into the Holliston Police Department back in 1981.
I pulled the trigger 3 or 4 times.
And for the first time, the man convicted of second-degree murder admitted to the board he's the one who pulled the trigger, wrestling the 31-year-old officer John Johnson's gun from him after he was pulled over in a stolen car. He admitted he shot Johnson 4 times.
But why did it take you almost 20 years to say, I pulled that trigger?
A skeptical parole board.
We don't know what the truth is.
Johnson's son and daughter were children when they lost him.
We lost John's mother, my grandmother, a couple years ago. She, along with my mother and John's sisters, Chrissy and Nina, have done their best to tell the younger generation about what a great person John Johnson was.
For Officer Johnson's friends, family, and fellow officers, this case still hasn't been resolved after all these years. Police never did find a weapon, the officer's own gun that was used to kill him. And every 5 years, they relive that day when they come here, when his killer begs to be released. In Natick, Christina Hager, WBZ News.
No decision today on whether Jimenez will walk. Members of the parole board say that that decision will take a couple of months.
Well, which victory scenes back in action across New England today. Even down toward Falmouth and the Cape, picking up some snow. They're getting ready for all their St. Patrick's Day shenanigans going on this weekend in Falmouth, and certainly plenty of those in the forecast as we head toward Saturday and Sunday. The weather will cooperate. Now, temperatures tonight, not so cooperative. Teens in 20s, you'd expect 40s to around 50 this time of year. Not going to be the case. In fact, we may set a couple of record lows tonight. The record in Boston is 12, set way back in 1896. We're forecasting 13. Be very close. 4 is the record in Worcester, forecasting 6. We'll see how things turn out by tomorrow morning. We do know that'll be cold either way. Wind chill values single digits, at times going sub-zero as we head through this evening and into tonight. And that's the way we'll wake up tomorrow morning. So a bitter cold start to our Friday, but we'll feel better as we head toward the afternoon as our storm departs and we get into some sunshine. This next one is not going to bring the same type of issues that we just had to endure. We'll talk about Friday, the weekend, and potentially a little more snow next week coming up in a few minutes. Paul?
Eric, thanks. We'll see you then. Tonight, just a horrible accident. A suspected drunk driver is facing murder charges, accused of running down people who were outside a music festival in Austin, Texas.
It's called the South by Southwest Festival. It draws tens of thousands of people there every year. As Omar Villafranca shows us, the late-night crash shocked the crowd.
That multiple people down.
Injured people littered a street in Austin, Texas, after a suspected drunk driver plowed through a crowd at the South by Southwest Festival.
All of a sudden, this car just driving through, hit 10 people.
I just remember seeing people bouncing off of the street.
Police were chasing the suspect when he drove through barricades and into a crowd outside a nightclub. Almost 24 people were hurt, several critically. The driver kept going. He hit a couple on a moped and a bicyclist, killing 2 people. The chase ended when the suspect slammed into a taxi.
This is an individual that showed no regard for the human beings that he plowed through in his attempt to get away.
The police chief says his officer had just cleared the street, which likely prevented even more injuries. Omar Villafranca, CBS News, Dallas.
Tonight, state troopers are investigating a messy accident in Woburn. Just before 5 this morning, a tractor trailer on the ramp from Washington Road to 128 southbound in Woburn lost its load. The vehicle from Empire Recycling spilled recycled paper all over the place. Cleanup crews reopened the ramp, though, about 2 hours later.
Police just arrested a teenager on Cape Cod, saying he was selling stolen items online. Investigators say 19-year-old John Evangelista of Harwich stole televisions, golf clubs, and electronics, and then posted them on a Facebook page called Cape Cod Virtual Yard Sale. People who unknowingly purchased the stolen items have started returning them.
Graco just added more than 403 child seats to a massive recall. Graco pulled 3.8 million seats last month to replace the buckles. The food and drinks can make the buckles stick, making it tough to get children out of the seats. But the government still isn't happy. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration wants the company to include 1.8 million infant seats to the recall. Graco says, well, those seats are used differently. Amazon Prime users be prepared to pay more. The online retailer just announced it will now cost $99 for a 1-year subscription. That's up $20. Members get free 2-day shipping, as well as the ability to borrow Kindle books and stream movies and TV shows. Amazon is blaming the increase on increased fuel and shipping costs.
A little boy battling leukemia just got a huge surprise from the Tewksbury Police Department. This motorcade escorted 4-year-old Cole Moniz to the department. Inside, officers gave him and his family a $5,000 check. The money will help his family cover the cost of his treatment and any medical expenses not covered by insurance.
We're friends to you for life now, and we want to be incorporated in everything that happens and be brought up to date on as we progress and Cole gets 100% well, because we're all going to be here for you the whole entire way.
The organization Cops for Kids with Cancer is behind this event. Officers swore Cole in as a policeman. You see there, he even got his own cruiser. The perfect size for a 4-year-old officer.
Caught on camera, a child punched and robbed right on the street. Coming up in a moment, hear from the stranger who ran after the boys' attack.
Plus, researchers testing a revolutionary new birth control device, how this ring could protect a woman against pregnancy as well as sexually transmitted diseases.
Right now at 2014 in Danvers, try the new 2014 Jetta S for just $69 a month.
Come to Route 114 in Danvers and let us show you why size really does matter. Go to kellyauto.com.
Next week, don't miss the most exciting event in college basketball. Who will be stopped and who will be unstoppable? Catch all the game day action on WBZ. Sponsored locally by Nasacort Allergy 24 Hour. Stops more of what makes you miserable.
The most effective class of treatment for nasal allergies are 24-hour prescription nasal sprays. And now, one's available without one. New Nasacort. It relieves your worst nasal allergy symptoms, even congestion, for 24 hours. Nasacort stops more of what makes you miserable.
Winter's in full swing, and Butchika's in tax-free Salem, New Hampshire is your place to gear up for ski and snowboarding this year. Come in, get expert advice from our knowledgeable and experienced staff, browse our huge selection, and take advantage of our low prices on the latest equipment. Plus, get a lift ticket to J-Peak with the purchase of any ski or snowboard package over $499. J-Peak, the most snow in Eastern North America. Butchika Ski Shop, your skiing and riding connection. On Route 28 in tax-free Salem, New Hampshire.
What makes Greater Gardner Furniture Outlets a smarter way to shop for furniture? Come see for yourself. We've got the biggest selection of brand name furniture around. American made, traditional, contemporary. With over 200,000 square feet of quality furniture and decorating ideas, we've got your style. And more than 250 brand names at outlet prices. 4 outlets, 1 destination. In the furniture capital of New England. Greater Gardner Furniture Outlets. A smarter way to shop for furniture.
After my accident, Mako fixed my BMW. Insurance, rental car, it was easy.
They do great auto body work, same as dealerships. And I saved so much money with the options they gave me, I didn't have to go through my insurance.
My son's car was painted at Mako. He liked the work, but I liked the price.
17 million Americans turn to Mako for quality paint and collision repair.
So choose Mako for collision.
And paint. Come to the body shop that's easy, affordable, and reliable. Mako, America's body shop.
Shoe sale of the season.
Brian, is it true that you are one of the largest volume Honda dealers in New England?
Yes, it's true.
Right now at Kelly Honda on the Linway in Lynn, drive a new 2014 Honda Accord LX Automatic with AC, power group, and more for only $89 per month.
Go to kellyauto.com.
On the Health Watch tonight, testing will soon begin on a birth control device which could also protect women against sexually transmitted diseases. The inventor says this 5.5 centimeter ring is the first device for women which could accomplish both. A flexible plastic ring contains a 90-day dose of 2 drugs. One is a contraceptive, the other an antiretroviral drug. The breakthrough was developing the plastic, which could reliably release the 2 different drugs at different rates and in the proper amounts.
You know, getting directions on your phone while you're walking can be a little dangerous. So one company has now developed a new high-tech jacket. This thing actually vibrates and lights up to guide you around city streets. Company is called Wearable Experiments. What they did, they sewed circuit boards and Bluetooth technology right into the blazers that communicate with your phone.
So we're building a language around haptic feedback, around vibration sensors built into the shoulders that tell you when to turn left and tell you when to turn right. And then we have a countdown on your sleeve that allows you to know how many meters until you turn.
Well, the final version of the jacket will feature removable electronics made necessary because the jacket is washable. Creators also want to make it voice activated so you can just talk to your jacket. If you don't get arrested first, you should be able to find out where to go.
Well, right after the break, stay with us. We have an I-team investigation. Long delays at the state's DNA crime lab in Maynard. And defense attorneys and victims are outraged. What's behind the problem and what's being done to fix it?
Well, we'd certainly like to fix our weather for this evening. It is frigid cold, but we do have some warmer days ahead. It won't take too long. We'll have the timeline straight ahead.
Beep, boop, boop, beep.
She says switch to Progressive and you could save hundreds.
Call or click today.
It's the Toyota #1 for everyone national sales event. Now we're making you #1 with savings. Get a $178 a month lease on an all-wheel drive Venza with no cost maintenance included. Hurry, it ends March 31st. Toyota, let's go places.
Right now at National Floors Direct, you can get an entire house of name brand carpeting, padding, and next day installation for just $15.88. It's that simple. Your living room, dining room, hallway, and 3 bedrooms of carpet completely installed for just $15.88. Call 888-400-FLOOR for a free in-home estimate.
Honey, your dorm was so cute. But, well, I gotta run. Oh, yeah. Dad and I miss you so much. It's quiet around here without you. Well, we've been catching up on some sleep, eating up all those leftovers, and just trying to relax a little. Love you too. Bye, honey. No, I didn't tell her. I didn't want her to know we're having this much fun in the Daniel Webster Inn without her.
Everything Bob has said all along has been proven.
In a rigorous test by America's leading consumer magazine, My Bobopedic Queen mattress beats Sealy, Serta, Simmons, and Tempur-Pedic.
And there's a whole big lineup of Bobopedics.
At only $9.99, My Bobopedic Gel Queen Set with gel-infused memory foam is $1,000 less than Serta's iComfort Prodigy.
Now more than ever, why would anyone pay the extra $1,000?
Isn't it time to make My Bobopedic your Bobopedic?
Everything you're looking for. The larger your inventory, the better your selection. At Bach Honda, we have everything you're looking for at one of our 2 great locations. Bach Honda on the Auto Mall, Route 1 in Norwood, or Bach Honda West in Westford, Mass.
Come on down.
Choose from hundreds of new and pre-owned vehicles online at Bach.com. 2 great Bach Honda locations, 1 legendary low Bach Honda price.
Welcome to the beautiful appliance showrooms of Barron's Major Brands. I'm here to report live about this incredible Frigidaire front-load laundry pair. You get this energy-efficient washer with 5 cycles and 5 temp settings. Plus, you get this ultra-capacity dryer. And while supplies last, you get both for only $9.99. Hurry in now for this incredible Frigidaire washer and dryer pair. When it comes to appliances, nobody ever beats a Barron's price.
Romance blossoms at the Boston Flower and Garden Show, March 12th through the 16th at the Seaport World Trade Center. Stroll among alluring landscapes and unique floral displays. Learn the latest trends, meet master gardeners, and more. Buy tickets at bostonflowershow.com.
This is the Name Your Price tool. It gives you options based on your budget. It's a piece of cake. I was told there would be cake. Get a free quote at progressive.com.
CBS Money Watch Stock Update is brought to you by Buick.
Now, an I-Team investigation. The arrest and conviction of that chemist at the state's drug lab certainly has received a lot of attention this year.
But the I-Team found the state's other high-profile crime lab, which handles DNA, has had its own problems. Chief Correspondent Joe Shortsleeve says defense attorneys and crime victims say long delays are impacting justice.
This starts our crime scene caseworking processing lab. So
take a walk with the state's DNA crime lab at Maynard, and chemists are putting murders and sexual assaults under the microscope. The evidence analyzed here is the difference between guilt and innocence.
It's put onto this instrument right here, which is called a genetic analyzer.
But this lab has been under fire. Critics say results can take too long, often months and months and months.
Just like you're circling in an airport and waiting for a runway to land on, this piece of evidence is sitting in the state police lab.
The defense attorney Randy Chapman says long delays can impact justice, and they often benefit those accused because witnesses disappear, memories fade, as evidence sits.
There is a colleague of mine that says that anytime the Commonwealth moves for DNA testing, he considers that a Commonwealth motion for a 9-month continuance.
Data obtained by the I-Team confirm year to year the number of completed cases at the state's DNA crime lab in Maynard are down from 1,219 to 1,092. The result, a backlog that has grown from 1,420 to 1,538 cases. And for the victims of crime, the wait can be excruciating.
Many survivors look at that as a validation that something has happened to them, a validation that they were harmed.
Meg Basong counsels rape victims. She says wait times for those results have doubled in recent years, from 6 to 12 weeks.
The other piece is that when people are waiting on toxicology results, sometimes they're waiting on those results to make a decision about whether to report to police.
Last fall, a Beacon Hill Senate committee issued a report, When Time is of the Essence, looking at delays in handling sexual assault evidence at the state crime lab. It concluded delays were due to a number of factors, including insufficient staffing. Lawmakers pointed out labs that process evidence from sexual assaults can take weeks or months. They suggested officials look at a California pilot program, where the average turnaround time for obtaining DNA results is reduced to 15 business days.
We would like to see the right efficiencies built into the system, and we want to be timely in our response, but we need to get it right.
The colonel for the state police says delays are the result of rules which require chemists to testify in court, and more specifically, a new accreditation, which required extensive training, taking as many as 1/3 of the chemists out of the loop temporarily.
Now that we're past the accreditation process, I see more speed being built into the system.
State police tell the IT this new international accreditation is, quote, the universally recognized gold standard for forensic facilities, unquote, which should mean results will be untouchable in any courtroom. For the IT, Joe Schwartzler, WBZ News.
Well, let's get back to the weather. You know, the month of March, about anything can happen.
It's true, as you say, it could be much worse.
It certainly could. You know, a couple of years ago, it was 71 on this date. Now, 21 years ago, this is what was going on across the East Coast. The storm of the century, the superstorm, the original superstorm. That is an incredible satellite picture. This created billions of dollars in damage. It killed over 100 people. Tornadoes, wind gusts over 100 miles per hour. Parts of the Appalachians saw 5 feet of snowfall from this storm. So an unbelievable one that many of you watching right now, I know, remember the details of that one and where you were. Now, snowfall today, not quite the same. 1 to 3 inches across the area, just enough to whiten things up again. It will melt before Saturday is over, and overall, no major complications from today's snow. That storm is working its way off to the north and east. The last flakes just starting to leave down East Maine, and the last clouds starting to break up here across southern New England. It'll be a slow process, but eventually tonight we will clear things out. And eventually these winds will die down as well. Still gusting over 30 miles per hour in some spots. With our cold air, you have wind chill values that are awfully cold for this time of the season. It feels like 0 in Worcester, 1 below in Concord, 4 in Lawrence this thing. And the wind will start to die down, especially as we approach midnight and points thereafter. Near record cold tonight, Boston and Worcester will both be within a couple degrees of their record lows, and most towns back into the single digits. After we wake up tomorrow morning, yeah, a little tough to get out of bed for sure, but as we head through the day, we will start to warm. Winds will pick up again, this time out of the southwest. Brings in some more mild air when you're 30 at lunch, a mix of sun and clouds, upper 30s to around 40 by the evening time. So breezy, it'll feel a little bit cooler, but compared to today, kind of a cakewalk. Temperature is a little bit closer to average. Highs around the area. To the north, not much melting going on. Places like Rutland at 32, but Boston near 40, and much of southeastern Mass close to 40. Central Mass will stay in the 30s for tomorrow. And then we head toward tomorrow night and Saturday. That southwesterly flow brings in the milder air. Few rain showers along the front as we head toward late Friday night in the first half of Saturday. Doesn't look like a big deal, not a washout, but some drops to deal with. And then we'll see clearing skies as we head into Saturday afternoon. Sunday, cooler air builds in. It's not bitterly cold, but it's actually exactly like what we saw last weekend. The front moves through on Saturday. Temperatures go back below average for Sunday, but it's dry, so no major issues. And then we'll turn our attention to this storm across the southeast. This is going to come right off the coast, slide off to the south. It may graze us with a little bit of snowfall, but as of right now, it doesn't look like a major hit. Still some time for that to change. Now, if you're a skier or snowboarder, you've got a ear-to-ear grin on your face. Look at some of these totals. 29 inches at Jay Peak, Killington at 25, Cannon at 24, and the Loaf at 18 inches of snow. Some spots in northern New England have more than 45 inches of snow on the ground right now. Just one of those scenes here. This one sent in from the Jackson Ski Touring area. Beautiful snowfall everywhere you go. Snowmobiling will be no issue this weekend. And a little sneak peek at next week. It's just a temperature trend for now. It's looking quite a ways out, but every day, Sunday through Thursday, should be below average. So the snow melt will be a little bit slow. Here's your AccuWeather 7-day forecast. The warmest is Saturday. That's your day to enjoy a little break from all of this. As we head toward next week, there's that chance for some snow on Monday, especially the South Coast, Cape and the Islands. That's St. Patrick's Day, and then just chilly after that. All right, a schoolyard shout-out for today. How about the Oakdale Elementary School? This is in Dedham. We went out on a little road trip here. Great classroom. Showed off our new weather team video, and they seem to have a great time. Thanks for having us.
They're very excited to see you. Jumping all over the place.
It's amazing. People roll out the red carpet, and like, you know, we're just a bunch of weather geeks, right? We can't get you out of school or anything like that.
But it's fun.
Yeah, it's a great fun.
Thank you so much.
This make you a little angry. How about a man who punches a little boy, then takes off with his iPad? It's almost caught on camera. Take a look. A little 8-year-old left daycare with his aunt in Minneapolis. When a stranger walked up to him, the man punched the little boy, ran away with the iPad. A restaurant manager saw the whole thing and took off after the robbery.
The nerves, and I couldn't believe I ran so far after the. I would have. I'll do it over and over again. I'm just not gonna have allow anybody to hit a child like that for his iPad.
By the way, the manager did catch up with the robber, but the iPad was smashed. Police say the suspect has been arrested more than 60 times.
Well, are you having trouble finding a job? CareerBuilder.com just released the results of a survey designed to find out which words capture the interest of hiring managers. This is good. Grab a pencil and jot these down. The best words on a resume? Achieved, improved, and trained. The worst terms to use? Best of breed, go-getter, and think outside the box.
Best of breed.
Best of breed. Sounds like you're in best of show. Well, some terrifying moments for the parents of a toddler on board a flight.
Yeah, how a passenger's expertise gave him the confidence to jump into action and actually save a life. Now let's get to Lisa Hughes with a look at what's coming up in a moment at 6.
Jackie was near death, but saved by some quick-thinking workers at the MBTA. Coming up, new at 6 o'clock, we're going to hear from the man who says his life has been changed forever. Another late-night option why grabbing a bite after hours is about to get easier in the city of Boston. We'll see at 6 o'clock.
Next week, don't miss the most exciting event in college basketball. Who will be stopped and who will be unstoppable? Catch all the game day action on WBZ. Sponsored locally by Nasal Allergy 24 Hours. Stops more of what makes you miserable.
The most effective class of treatment for nasal allergies are 24-hour prescription nasal sprays. And now, one's available without one. New Nasacort. It relieves your worst nasal allergy symptoms, even congestion, for 24 hours. Nasacort stops more of what makes you miserable.
It's made with wholesome ingredients. It tastes great, and it's competitively priced. That's H&K approved. Hearth & Kettle's 3-part approval process ensures that every meal coming out of our kitchens meets high standards for quality, taste, and value. Many of our ingredients are organic or all natural and free of hormones, antibiotics, and artificial preservatives. Wholesome ingredients, great taste, competitively priced. That's H&K approved. Hearth & Kettle in Hyannis, Yarmouth, Orleans, Plymouth, and Weymouth.
He loves skiing and skateboarding, so young Tom Sims combined them, creating a whole new way down the mountain. Uncompromising creativity. It's also how Mazda made a crossover that combines nimble handling with outstanding fuel efficiency. This is the Mazda CX-5. What do you drive? Now, get the 2014 Mazda CX-5 with Skyactiv technology for 0.9% APR for 60 months.
It's Empire's Buy One, Get Two free sale. Buy Carpenter flooring with installation for 1 room and get Carpenter flooring for 2 rooms free. Schedule a free in-home estimate now.
800-588-2300 Empire.
Today.
Frightening moments on a flight from Tampa to Phoenix. The pilot had to make an emergency landing when a toddler on board the plane stopped breathing. One passenger who teaches CPR for a living rushed in to save the day. Garrett Goodwin says when the 15-month-old's parents held him up, asking anyone for help, the boy had already turned blue from a lack of oxygen. Goodwin says he was scared, but let his training take over. He cleared the child's airway, then did chest compressions and rescue breathing.
When he got his color back, I was a little bit relieved. When he started crying, I was extremely relieved. Because he is a breathing baby. And it's kind of like pediatrics 101. If he's crying, he's not dying.
Goodwin says he's no hero. He was only doing what anyone with his training would have done in the same situation. Thank goodness he was there. Well, stay with us. We have much more news still ahead. The news at 6 o'clock starts right now.
He's been called the heart and soul of Patriots Nation. But does Vince Wilfork want out? The new request from the defensive giant and what it means for his future at Foxborough.
Trouble on the playground. The disturbing children's games forcing one school district to take action.
A frigid night ahead, but the ups and downs of March continue and will feel like spring around here yet again.
And he nearly died at an MBTA
MBTA station. Now he has another shot at life thanks to quick-thinking tea workers. And he tells us how the whole incident has changed him.
Live from our studios in Boston, WBZ News at 6 starts right now.
We begin this evening with breaking news. Scott Brown is in. I'm Lisa Hughes.
Yeah, multiple sources tell CBS News that Brown is now forming an exploratory committee. He's going to run for Senate in New Hampshire against Gene Shaheen. Now, Brown has been coy about his political future since he sold his home in Rentham and moved to New Hampshire last year. Official announcement could come by tomorrow.
Yeah, Brown is actually speaking at the Northeast Republican Leadership Conference in New Hampshire. And we're going to have much more on this decision coming up tonight on WBZ News at 11.
Now to another breaking story. Vince Wilfork waving goodbye to the Patriots. The star defensive player seems to be looking to get out of Foxborough. Well, tonight there are reports Vince Wilfork has asked the Patriots to release him.
Yeah, we hate to hear about this. This would be a stunning development in what's been a tumultuous offseason. Tom Brady and Wilfork have stood together to form the core of the team for the past decade. But the partnership may be over, and our Steve Burton joins us now with the details. Steve?
All right, Lisa, thank you very much. Yes, Vince Wilfork is in the final year of a 5-year, $40 million deal, and nobody wants to take a pay cut. The NFL Network's Ian Rappaport is reporting Vince has asked for his release. If he is released, the Pats save about $8 million in cap space. Vince Wilfork has asked for his release? Say it ain't so. He spent the last 10 seasons with the Patriots and has been the anchor on the defensive line. But back on September 28th in Atlanta, he tore his left Achilles and was carted off the field. His season over.
I remember going into the locker room at the end of the game and going over to him, giving him a hug and a kiss. It was all about my team and the organization. Like, man, I really let him down.
Wilfork's a 5-time Pro Bowler and a former All-Pro. So even though he couldn't contribute on the field, he asked Bill Belichick if he could help on the sidelines. Most injured players are not allowed. For Vince, wish granted.
When I told him, because I know he don't do that, and I asked him, I said, Bill, you know, I would love it for team when I'm able to. I understand if you tell me no, I understand that. But I want to be with you guys. And he was like, we would love that, you know. And
but as valuable as Wilfork has been to the Patriots, pro football is still a business. He was set to count $11.6 million against the cap this season. So here in New England, at age 32, Vince could be through. Now keep in mind that just because Wilfork has asked for his release doesn't mean have to grant it. Jack?
Interesting time, Steve. Thank you. Well, he's certainly a fan favorite, and the news of Wilfork's request is hitting Patriots Nation hard. We sent Jim Smith out to Foxborough to gauge the reaction. Jim?
Hi, Jack. It's safe to say that Vince Wilfork is one of the most popular Patriots. Not only a great player, but a nice guy, very active in the community. So is Big Vince really on his way out? Today, we went looking for answers. Knocking on the front door of Vince Wilfork, we had a question for number 75. Is it really true that he might be soon pulling up stakes and leaving his neighborhood just a few towns away from Gillette Stadium? No answer at the door, but Wilfork may have already given his answer to Bill Belichick and Bob Kraft. He reportedly wants to be released. Here at the Pats Pro Shop, his number 75 jersey still hangs on the rack, and Pats fans worry.
No, it wouldn't be good. Plus he's a mentor to the younger players. You know, he's a coach on the field.
We'll miss him. He's one of my favorite Patriots players of all time.
Yeah, sure they'll miss him. I think they're going to enjoy Revis more, though.
For 10 years, Vincent Wilfork has been a force on the Patriots, and he's terrorized other NFL teams. If you don't believe that, just ask a Dolphins fan.
He's been a tough guy to go against for the last, 4 or 5 years while he's been here. So hopefully he goes and moves on somewhere out of the AFC East at least, if he doesn't go to the Dolphins.
So for right now, the number 75 jersey is still available here at the Patriots Pro Shop because Vince Wilfork, after all, is still a member of the team. Let's hope it stays that way, Jack and Lisa. It would be nice if there was some way that he could remain a Patriot. Live in Foxborough, Jim Smith, WBZ News, back to you.
You look a little chilly out there, Jim.
Yeah, it was a cold year. Patriots Nation, a chilly night all around.
Thank you, Jim. Well, spring is actually a week away, but you would never know it stepping outside.
You look downright
You
miserable.
could hear the wind.
Well, it's cold, so that snow we got today isn't going anywhere. We'd appreciate this in December, but not in mid-March. Eric Fisher joins us now with the AccuWeather forecast. Eric?
A little chilly out there this evening for sure. Didn't look too comfortable. A Taunton not too far away from Foxborough. It's 31 degrees colder than it was at this time last night. Big temperature changes anywhere from 20 to 35 degrees colder. What does that actually mean? Well, it's 17 in Worcester, 18 in Orange, Boston sitting at 24, and down the Vineyard, 24 degrees as well. And a couple of gentlemen just ended the picture. They were out fishing this morning in the weather on the Vineyard, so apparently New Englanders, we know, we're hardy. Look across the Northeast, temperatures well below average. In fact, a couple of records made falls. We head through tonight. The record low in Boston is 12. We're forecasting 13. In Worcester, the record is 4. We're forecasting 6. We'll be close either way. Yeah, it's awfully cold and well below what you might expect this time of year. Our storm is moving to the east very gradually. The clouds will break apart as we head through tonight. Cold start tomorrow, but we'll be on the mend. Near 40 in the afternoon, near 50 on Saturday. That feels great. And there is some potential for snow next week. We'll talk about that in about 10 minutes. Jack?
All right, Eric, thank you. Recess time takes a troubling turn in the Bedford School District.
Educators have alerted parents to a game that the kids were playing there, and as our Ken McLeod reports, they're concerned that some kids may be targeted just because they're Jewish.
As the school buses roll in Bedford, there is concern that an age-old enemy is on board.
This ugliness has shown its face in the past.
She's talking about anti-Semitism, which has prompted the school superintendent here to warn parents about multiple examples of intolerant and hateful behaviors.
It's not particular to Bedford, but since it's raised its ugly head in Bedford, we're taking it head on.
This spate of anti-Semitism actually began last fall when someone scrawled swastikas and the phrase "kill the Jews" on some lockers here at the high school. Some students argue such things are more about getting attention than hate. The people like the scandal. They like getting the news crews out to the schools, and that's generally the reason they do it. But at a pair of elementary schools in recent weeks, 3 different incidents. Young students playing a game called Jail the Jews, a Jewish youngster mocked by a classmate, and a girl told her country would be destroyed because she is Jewish.
It's not acceptable anywhere, ever, but when it's from the really young children, you just wonder where they hear it.
But that doesn't mean that they can't also be sensitized to hurtful things.
Mike Rosenberg is a town selectman, 40-year resident, and Jewish.
They're repeating what they've heard, whether it's from home, whether it's from older kids, whether it's from the popular culture.
With that in mind, Bedford is enlisting the help of both civic and church groups, refocusing school staff, and hosting a community meeting next week.
You have to keep educating, keep reaching out, find the source of it and attack it.
Many here believe they'll be defined not by these school slurs, but by their town's response to them. In Bedford, Ken McLeod, WBZ News.
Well, 5 months after 5-year-old Jeremiah Oliver disappeared while he was supposed to be monitored by the state, a new report is out examining the Department of Children and Families. Our John Keller joins us now with more on recommendations that some say, John, fall far short.
Yes, Lisa, this interim report does include a few minor changes, like tightening background checks on DCF social workers. But it fails to answer the key question facing the agency. What really went wrong in the Jeremiah Oliver case, and how can it be prevented from ever happening again?
If we had the staffing in place, if we had the technology in place, would we have a safer system? And I think that is absolutely the case.
For Human Services Secretary John Polanowitz, the report by the Child Welfare League of America affirms what the administration's already been saying, that reform is mainly a matter of more resources.
This was not a workload issue.
But DCF Commissioner Olga Roche is on record claiming the tragic Jeremiah Oliver case wasn't due to lack of financial support or flawed policies. With new caseworkers already hired and more on the way, the Secretary today reaffirmed his support for Roche's leadership.
DCF needs a total overhaul.
But State Rep David Linsky of Natick, the man in charge of a separate House probe of DCF, says the report's failure to assess accountability for the little boy's loss is a major shortcoming.
Whether or not the supervisors and the social workers who dealt with the Jeremiah Oliver family had 1 case or 1,000 cases, it probably wouldn't have made a difference because there wasn't a system of accountability in place to catch when someone wasn't doing their job.
Veterans of the DCF system told me today they see a familiar pattern here where public outrage over DCF failures prompts more funding and vows of reform, which then recede when the outrage inevitably does. If that cycle continues, they say, Jeremiah Oliver's case won't be the last catastrophe of its kind. Jack, back to you.
That gives us chills. All right, John, thank you. A House Homeland Security meeting slated to happen here in Boston is being moved back to Washington, D.C. The hearing will focus on a final report regarding the Boston Marathon bombings. Congressman Bill Keating pushed for the hearing in Boston to allow first responders and victims' families to testify before the committee. But Mayor Marty Walsh raised some questions about the timing.
My concern was having a hearing here on April 11th, 4 days before the one-year anniversary, and taking the strain away from our law enforcement. We have a lot of preparation to do here in the city of Boston.
Mayor Walsh said he is open to having the committee hold the hearing in Boston after this year's marathon. Keating has said Boston deserves the hearing.
UMass Amherst is now tapping WBZ security analyst Ed Davis to look into a party that got totally out of control. The university is asking Davis to conduct a comprehensive review of the university and the town's handling of the Blarney blowout. Dozens of students were arrested during the pre-St. Patrick's Day bash. The chancellor believes Davis's experience could help the school prevent this from happening again.
Coming up on WBZ News tonight, a man near death rescued by knowledgeable tea workers. Now, a new outlook on life. Find out how his perspective certainly has changed.
Plus, late night dish as the tea opens up for service to midnight. Several businesses come to the table offering new dining choices.
And right about tonight, back to the winter parkas, but spring is right around the corner, so more temps in our forecast.
American-owned, family-operated. Since 1829. No bull. Just lager. From America's oldest brewery, Yingling.
We bought our MDX because we needed something big enough for all our adventures, yet stylish and sophisticated enough for our urban lifestyle. The MDX delivered on both. Not to mention great cargo space, third-row seat, and a touchscreen with text messaging. The MDX was perfect.
During the Black Tag sales event, upgrade to the all-new MDX with low lease payments or special 0.9% APR financing with a portion of the proceeds helping to support Boston Children's Hospital. Learn more online at neaccuradealers.com.
Everything Bob has said all along has been proven.
In a rigorous test by America's leading consumer magazines, My Bob-O-Pedic Queen mattress beats Sealy, Cerna, Simmons, and Tempur-Pedic.
And there's a whole big lineup of Bob-O-Pedics.
At only $5.99, My Bob-O-Pedic 9-inch queen set is $800 less than Tempur-Pedic's 8-inch set.
Now more than ever. Why in the world would anyone spend that extra $800?
Isn't it time to make My Bob-O-Pedic your Bob-O-Pedic?
It's the Boston Flower and Garden Show, March 12th through the 16th at the Seaport World Trade Center. Romance blossoms among alluring gardens and sensational outdoor spaces. Stroll through unique floral displays. Learn the latest trends in organic gardening. Get thousands of ideas and explore hundreds of items for your own garden. The Flower Show, March 12th through the 16th at Boston Seaport World Trade Center. Learn more at bostonflowershow.com.
March into winning at Foxwoods Resort Casino. On March 23rd, we're giving away a Jeep Sahara with a Sea-Doo jet ski and trailer. And 4 lucky winners each receive $1,000 bonus slot play. All guaranteed. Catch winning entertainment with stars like Jay Moore, Don Omar, and Miley Cyrus. And our St. Patrick's Day food and drink specials. You won't want to miss Wine and Design with Drunken Palate. Friday, March 14th, 21st, and 28th at our new lounge, The Fox. Meet up with friends and enjoy a cocktail and live DJ every Saturday night at Foxwoods Resort Casino.
Everything you're looking for.
The larger your inventory, the better your selection. At Bach Toyota, we have everything you're looking for. The car you want, the model you want, with the options you want. All at legendary low Bach Toyota prices.
Come on down.
Choose from hundreds of new and pre-owned vehicles online at BachToyota.com. Bach Toyota right here on the Auto Mile, Route 1 in Norwood. My name is Ernie Bach Jr. Come on down.
In a crowd of light beers, how long does it take to find the Yingling Light Lager? About that long. 99 calories, 100% authentic lager. Yingling Light Lager. Rethink your light beer.
Tonight, a 26-year-old man has a whole new appreciation for life thanks to MBTA workers who saved him because they knew CPR.
And that has given Kevin Bossert a new mission. Our Bill Shields has his story.
Kevin Bossert and his friend Rachel Davinsky were having a relaxed lunch near Fenway today. But 6 weeks ago, this scene was far-fetched. At the Wollaston T-stop in Quincy, Kevin's heart gave out.
I think I reached with my right arm for the railing, and at that point, I was unconscious, and I just fell back, hit my head, and...
The T has 550 frontline employees who are CPR certified. Tomas Gonzalez and Karen Kane are two of them, and they were all over Kevin Bossert that day, from the minute he dropped.
There was very shallow breathing, more like gasping, and then I started the CPR and worked on him for about approximately 10, maybe 15 minutes before Quincy Fire arrived.
This kid, it just wasn't his time to go. He had a lot of people in his corner.
EMTs quickly got Kevin to the hospital, and now he's back on his feet, but staggering under the weight of medical bills. Still, his goal these days is to advocate for more CPR training in the public workplace.
People that know CPR, the quality of CPR.
And Karen, she's starting a fundraising campaign for Kevin. She'll also run the marathon for her best friend.
I think that the Boston Marathon allows people to do really special things running for a cause, and when that happened to Kevin, I just figured, why not put the two together?
The whole reason Kevin is alive today, and one of the reasons Rachel is going to run the marathon, is because the people at the T that day knew CPR.
Everybody involved was amazing.
In Boston, I'm Bill Shields, WBZ News.
And Kevin's friend Rachel has organized a fundraiser at the Cask and Flagon March 29th to raise money for Kevin's recovery and the people who've helped him.
Well, let's talk about the subject that everybody's been moaning about all day today.
Oh my gosh, in between gusts of wind, Eric. I mean, it really was something out there, and you warned us.
Yeah, not exactly a fun day to be out and about outside, but the good thing about March is the cold days like this, they don't stick around for too long. Create some nice scenes. This picture sent in, Falmouth Village. Kaylee sent it in and said they are ready for their St. Patrick's Day shenanigans going on there in Falmouth as we head through the weekend. They're not alone, of course. Got the big parade in Southie, many other things, and the weather this weekend is going to cooperate for all of that. Now, snow in Boston, we had 1.5 inches today, brings our seasonal total up just over 57 inches, pretty much exactly where we were at this time last year, and both of those winters above average in terms of snowfall. A little interesting note, when you look at the record books for today, most of the day we would have been talking about a record low maximum, basically the coldest daytime temperatures ever for the state. However, the highs, this is what it actually looks like across the region. They were all at midnight, and that is what will go into the record books. We know most of the day wasn't like that. It's 24 in Boston, 17 in Worcester, Keene at 18 degrees. The wind is still blowing. The wind chill value is very low. It feels like 1 below 0 in Worcester, 3 in Keene, and 9 in Chatham. Nice evening to hang out, catch up on your DVR, and just relax inside. Our storm is heading off to the north and east. Clouds will slowly break up as we head through tonight. There are huge totals in northern New England, over 2 feet for some of the mountaintops. Around here, we've got our near-record cold, single digits, clearing, and less wind by the time we get toward midnight and beyond. For tomorrow morning, very cold start, but even by lunchtime, with a mix of sun and clouds, it's feeling better. It is breezy, but temperatures near 30 at lunch and upper 30s to near 40 during the afternoon. And comparatively speaking to today, not so bad. Again, highs, not the type that will create a lot of melting snow, but we're looking at low to mid-30s across much of southern New Hampshire and around 40 in Boston and southeast Mass. You wake up on Saturday morning, you're thinking about a long run, saying, please don't let it be as cold as it was today. We're looking at rain showers early. If you wait a little bit later, it'll be drier and more mild, up through the 40s by 11 a.m. Just a couple raindrops with this particular front. It's not going to be a washout day. It'll be drier during the afternoon, and cooler air comes on down as we head into Sunday. It won't be bitterly cold, just a little bit below average. This is the next storm to watch. Across the southeast, Sunday to Monday. Big high pressure over New England is probably going to keep this blocked. May graze us with some snowfall, especially the south coast, Cape and Islands, late Sunday night and into Monday. If it veers a little bit farther to the north, we'll get more snow. As of right now, I don't think that's the more likely scenario. So here's your AccuWeather 7-day forecast. The warmest day, it's Saturday. Sunday, around 40 degrees. It'll be cool, but for the big parade and all the events going on around the area, no major issues. Some snow possible on Monday. Again, the farther south you go, the higher those chances. Cold next week. Wish you could say we had some 50s and 60s. Would you even believe 70s? It was over 72 years ago on this date, but doesn't look like it's coming until maybe April. Jack, Lisa, back to you.
That was a tease, Eric.
I I want it as much as you do, I promise.
I know you do. All right, thanks. So last night we were so excited about Darrelle Revis.
Yes.
And now the news about Vince Wilfork.
God, huh? Maybe.
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 Not yet, but maybe. This is what everybody's doing right
Yeah.
Right? Right? Patriots and their fans are riding a roller coaster of emotions right now. First, they lost Keith to leave to Denver, and then they pick up Darrelle Revis, and now Vince Wilfork reportedly wants out of New England. The NFL Network's Ian Rappaport is reporting the Patriots recently asked Wilfork to restructure his contract, and Wilfork said no. Wilfork is due to make $11.6 million this upcoming season. The Pats do indeed cut him. He'll save about $8 million on the salary cap. The five-time Pro Bowler has spent his entire 10-year career with the Patriots. However, he missed most of last season with a torn Achilles. Meanwhile, more details have emerged from Darrelle Revis' contract with the Pats. NFL.com says it's a one-year, $12 million deal with a $20 million team option for a second. Revis spent his first 6 seasons with the Jets, so Tom Brady knows him well. And last year, he told us why he's so good.
There's nothing negative about his playing style. There's nothing negative about his skill set. He can really do it all. He's fast, quick, matches up against small guys, matches up against big guys.
In other Patriots news, multiple reports say the team is set to host another quarterback, free agent Brandon Browner. The 6'4", 220-pounder spent the last 3 seasons in Seattle and made the Pro Bowl in 2011. However, he's been suspended multiple times for violating the league's substance abuse policy and will have to sit out the first 4 games of the 2014 season. Also, reports say the Cleveland Browns are interested in signing Julian Edelman. Brian Hoyer is the quarterback in Cleveland, and one report says he's trying to recruit Edelman. The two were teammates when Hoyer was in New England, backing up Tom Brady. Clearly, a lot going on right now, so be sure to join us tomorrow night at 7 for Patriots All Access for the very latest information as well as a look back on the NFL Combine. With the hockey, the Bruins are right back in action tonight as they take on Phoenix at the Garden. The Black and Gold picked up their 6th straight win last night. They smoked the Canadiens 4-1 in Montreal. To spring training we go. Why not? Sox visiting the Twins today in Fort Myers. Mr. Fishing Night, Jake Peavy, making his first start of the spring, and he looked pretty good. Allowing 1 run over 3+ innings of work, struck out 2 through 53 pitches. Dutch Pedroia paced the Sox offense with his 2-run double in the 5th, turning a 3-2 deficit into a 4-3 lead, and that would be your final. Sox improved to 6-8 in Grapefruit League play. And UMass opens up the Atlantic 10 tournament tonight out in Brooklyn against URI. The 6-seeded Minutemen are 23-7 and have a good chance to make the NCAA tournament. However, a poor showing tonight could make them a bubble team. I say they are not a bubble team. They're a very good team.
I watched a couple of times. I like them.
Let's hope Vince Wilfork doesn't leave, huh?
Yeah, that would be a shame. We would miss him.
Out of my hands, as they say.
And you got some problems.
Yes, Mr. Kraft hasn't called me in days.
Well, the CBS Evening News is coming up at 6:30.
Scott Pelley joins us live now from New York City with a preview. Scott?
Hi, Jack. Lisa, great to be with you in Boston. Tonight, we have a very solid lead on that missing Malaysian airline plane. It appears that the aircraft may have been flying for hours after it was lost on radar. The search area has been expanded far to the west in the Indian Ocean. We're going to have all the details on this mystery coming up on the CBS Evening News in about 10 minutes.
Scott, thank you. In this newscast, staying out late night when you'll be able to ride the T after hours.
Right now at Jordan's, with any Sunbrella sofa or sectional, you'll get a free spring cleaning from our friends the Maids. The industry leader, voted Best of Boston from Boston Magazine. It's a $400 value, yours free. Sofas start at just $7.99.
A man pioneers a way to see the unseen. Radar, forever providing safer journeys. The Mazda 6 uses radar in its available class-exclusive suite of 7 safety features for greater confidence behind the wheel. Introducing the Mazda 6. What do you drive? Now, get the 2014 Mazda 6 with Skyactiv technology for 0.9% APR for 60 months.
What makes Greater Garden
Gardner Furniture Outlets a smarter way to shop for furniture? Come see for yourself. We've got the biggest selection of brand name furniture around. American made, traditional, contemporary. With over 200,000 square feet of quality furniture and decorating ideas, we've got your style. And more than 250 brand names at outlet prices. 4 outlets, 1 destination. In the furniture capital of New England, Greater Gardner Furniture Outlets. A smarter way to shop for furniture.
Lord & Taylor is having its biggest fashion sale of the season. And buy more, save more on select items. Must-have handbags at 25% off. 50% off men's fashions. And buy more, save more on women's sportswear. Get 30% off on the latest men's shoes. And buy more, save more on women's shoes too. At the biggest fashion sale of the season. Going on now. Get into the store or shop online at Lord & Taylor.
Hey, hey, baby, you're the one that I love. Hey, hey, baby, you're the one that I'm always thinking of. I'm always thinking.
Introducing the all-new 2014 Subaru XV Crosstrek Hybrid, the most fuel-efficient all-wheel drive hybrid crossover in America. Well-equipped for only $25,995.
Sunbrella is the most cleanable fabric we've ever offered. In my opinion, it's the most durable upholstery fabric in the world. And it comes in hundreds of styles and colors, resists stains and fading. You can even clean it with bleach, and it's only at Jordan's.
New tonight.
I'm dreaming this, right? You're not seriously waking me up again?
Come on. This PhD is DOA.
He was murdered with gas while he showered. He was dried, clothed, and staged.
For Sherlock Holmes,
I believe I've determined who has the strongest motive.
Really?
Now you're impressed.
this case spells trouble.
The work we do, there's often a price.
A new Elementary, CBS Tonight. Catch up online or on demand.
The MBTA is ready to bring back late night service.
In fact, starting on the 28th of this month, the T will extend service until 3 o'clock in the morning on weekends. All of the subways and 15 bus routes will be involved in the program. The one-year trial is going to cost $17 million, with $1 million of that coming from corporate sponsors. Officials hope the late-night service will help contribute to a more vibrant nightlife in the city.
And to go along with the T's late-night service, the city will now have some new after-hours dining options. New pilot program is going to allow food trucks at Copley Square, BU, and Northeastern to stay open an extra hour. So starting April 1st, they're going to be able to serve customers until midnight. If this goes well, the city says this is a program that could grow in the future.
Well, these are changing times, but is the weather going to change? We're going to find that out.
We'll be right back.
Closed captioning is brought to you by the Harlem Globetrotters, playing at TD Garden on Saturday, March 29th and Sunday, March 30th. Purchase tickets at the box office or online at Ticketmaster.com.
Cambridge Eye Doctors is now VisionWorks. At VisionWorks, we accept any valid prescription, so you can see any eye doctor and still get our great selection and value. Find more than a pair of glasses. Find a better you.
Things are heating up at Lazy Boy Furniture Galleries. It's the Red Hot Home Sale with the hottest prices around. Now, when you visit Lazy Boy Furniture Galleries and donate $20 or more to Ronald McDonald House Charities, you save 20% store-wide. Great-looking sofas, sectionals, chairs, and more. Get genuine Lazy Boy comfort and give comfort when it's needed most. Shop the Red Hot Home Sale. It's furniture you'll feel good about in more ways than one. Lazy Boy Furniture Galleries. Live life comfortably.
It's the Toyota #1 for everyone national sales event. Toyota is #1 in what matters most to everyone, value. Now we're making you #1 with nationwide savings. Get a #1 Prius C lease for a lowest ever $97 a month with no cost maintenance included. Or current Toyota owners can get 0 for 60 plus $12.50 bonus cash on a Prius liftback. #1 for everyone ends March 31st. Toyota, let's go places.
Excuse me, do your dentures come with a guarantee?
Guarantee. No.
Okay, hold it. Let's try something new.
Mr. Stevens, your dentures are completely guaranteed.
Really?
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 Wow.
Aspen Dental is doing whatever it takes to give America a healthy mouth, like guaranteeing your dentures or your money back. Call 1-800-ASPEN-DENTAL because your mouth is our mission.
It's award season, and some talented casts are getting honored for their performances off stage.
Way off stage. Out here, there's plenty of thrills, action, and the occasional cliffhanger. And the stars are much brighter than the ones on the red carpet. But the best part? I get to be the paparazzi.
Hurry in for great deals on the award-winning Jeep brand lineup. Get a low-mileage lease on the all-new 2014 Jeep Cherokee Sport for $209 a month for well-qualified lessees.
Imagine finding the furniture you love at low sale prices. Now imagine upgrading to your choice of fabric at no extra charge. It's all possible at the Boston Interiors Custom Upholstery Sale. All our upholstery is made in the USA from quality materials you can trust to last. And this month only, it's all on sale. All chairs, sofas, sleepers, and sectionals. Plus, custom order any available fabric at the same price as stock. Come in soon and save. Sale ends March 31st.
Cambridge Eye Doctors is now VisionWorks. We accept hundreds of vision plans, including Davis Vision. And at VisionWorks, get 50% off your second pair when you use your insurance. Find more than a pair of glasses. Find a better you.
There were many places that felt like a wind tunnel today, right? It just felt like it's right here, but it's everywhere.
You thought the wind was up, down, you came around a corner, and like horizontal, and then some, well, a little bit better. We're up around 40 in the afternoon. Very cold morning, might set a couple record lows. You're 50 on Saturday, there'll be some morning raindrops, but that 52 looks pretty good compared to everything else on that 7-day.
Gorgeous.
All right, well, we got a busy night ahead of us. We'll close on some pictures from Gillette Stadium. See if we spot Vince Wilfork skulking around saying, I don't want to go.